Okay, if snow is still accumulating on the bottom of the vents and you're concerned that the weight is going to be an issue, we need to fix that. We've got to go make the vents stay closed. The easiest way to do this is for a 24-hour period. If you go to climate, down to crop protection, down to crop treatment strategy, we have a list here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 greenhouses. Now this goes ordered of greenhouse 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so number 1 is 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 5 is number 8. What we need to do is make those vents close. So if we go to, for example, greenhouse 4, this is what it's going to look like when you get to the screen. It's on a dosing system. That's the sulfur program, and it runs every day at this point. That's normally how the screen's going to look. What we want to do is we want to activate phase 6, and phase 6 is the phase that closes the vents for that period. So you don't release this phase. And on line 11 here, release phase, change from yes to no, and change phase 6 to yes. It takes a minute, but it'll pop up with phase 6. Here we'll see that this phase will last for 23 hours and 59 minutes, which is the maximum amount of time it can go. And the vents will be all forced to 0%. That's what we care about. Now we just have to change this top part of the screen here from interval to once. It'll pop up with this, start. You want to start it now. So now it'll start. You click on that, it'll start this vent. I won't do it now, but it'll start this vent system to close or to force the vents closed for 23 hours. Okay, so you can do that for everything. I'm going to set it back to what it was, interval, and I'm going to release phase 2 again because that's what we had released, and I'm going to unrelease this. So now we'll go back to where we were before. Okay, so you do that for greenhouse 4. Then you can go down the list. You can do it for greenhouse 5. Usually the glass house doesn't accumulate as much snow on it, but you can force them in 5. 6, you definitely have to force close the poly house as well. 7, again, optional. Glass houses generally, they don't accumulate as much snow, so you might not have to do that. And then, of course, number 5 is compartment 8, and you got to do the same thing there. So just repeat that process on all four of those, or all those 3. Now, that will only last for 24 hours. If in 24 hours, if you still haven't melted your snow off, before this phase is done, you have to go and make some changes because you can't just restart this. The vents will try to open and it can break shit. So the phase will only last for 24 hours. If in 24 hours you don't have it figured out, the snow is not melted to your satisfaction, you can go into this ventilation and then you go into vent strategy. So climate, ventilation, vent strategy. Now they're listed as they should be. Compartment 4 is the first poly house. Here we have to change all these max and min vent lees. And so max vent lee, min vent lee, and max vent win and min vent win, all of these have to be set to 0. So for all these periods that they're active, all these numbers have to be 0. Furthermore, and this is where it gets a little more confusing, these humidities increasing min vent and humidity increase min wind, min lee and min wind, these graphs have a correction, a percentage correction. So this is the humidity and this is the percentage correction. All of these have to get reset to 0 for every one. All this one has none because this is the brief period where the vent gets forced closed every day. But these all have to, what'll happen is if you put it all to 0, you'll end up with a table that'll look like this. This graph will have its line gone, indicating that that's no longer using that setup. So yeah, you have to do this on every one. So that's greenhouse 4, greenhouse 6, and greenhouse 8. You'll have to knock out these have to all go to 0, and these graphs, all of the percent increase. This on the left is the humidity, on the right is the vent percent. They all have to go to 0. Another note is that the crop protection will override everything. So if you put this dosing phase back in, you notice here that it has a max vent lee of 20%. So if those 24 hours have passed in phase 6 don't go back to the dosing phase, because this 20% vent will open the vents during the dosing phase, which is happening at 7:07 at night. That you don't want that to happen. So just make sure that you turn this whole thing off right here, on each of the crop protection programs, so that you're not gonna open the vents during this dosing phase, just to be double sure, because you don't want that to happen. That'd be about it. So the most important thing, the easiest thing, is go to the crop protection, change the crop protection strategies for program number 1, 3, and 5, which is greenhouses 4, 6, and 8. If you have trouble with setting the vents back, if you're a little unsure about how to make the vent settings, I can log in and change all that. So, don't worry too much about that. You'll get at least 24 hours of forced venting closed with the crop protection program. Make sense? I hope so. Good luck.